What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and then special co-host for today, we have Mr. Johnny Jones Jr., podcaster, YouTuber, the co-founder and president of a nonprofit organization, the Tech4All Foundation, as well as a Marine and just all-around good guy over here. So definitely welcome to the show.
I appreciate that. How you doing, Ryan? Guys?
I'm doing very well.
Welcome.
Very excited to have you on the show. So we've been talking back and forth. We got you scheduled before the holiday. So we're definitely excited about that. So want to talk to you about your experience, a little bit about who you are, who you work for, what your nonprofit's about. We just go on and on and on, right? Definitely like, share, subscribe, all those people out there listening. We love having people on weekly. So if that is you or somebody you know, definitely push them our way. We definitely want to spotlight those, again, movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers like yourself. So without further ado, who is Mr. Johnny Jones Jr.?
Yeah, so as you said, thank you very much. My name is Johnny. You don't have to do the whole Jones Jr. thing. It's all good. But yeah, so I started out my my cybersecurity IT career in 2012 when I joined the Marine Corps. Before that, I didn't use any computers or anything except for anything like a teenager would use, cartoonnetwork.com or whatever other whatever other thing back in the dial-up days I messed around with. But when I joined the Marine Corps, I got assigned the MOS of IT. It was a cyber network operator. Operator was the original title. And then I ended up falling in love with it. I loved it. I didn't know what you could do with computers. And then I got into security about 2 years after that. So about 2014. Fast forward, past all the boring stuff, 3 deployments later, I was in charge of a NOC. And this is where I really came into my love of the cybersecurity, because we didn't have any security people or organization in that NOC. So I fought tooth and nail to get that up and running. And so that's when I kind of got my eye on CISSP, the management side of cybersecurity. And I did my first attempt. I'm gonna have to go and get you a Ask CISSP because I did not make that first one. But I did get SSCP and a couple of other security certs as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Upon my transition out of the Marine Corps, I went to a company called BAE, did a lot of security there. And then now I'm currently at Microsoft, where I work in the vulnerability and malware internal team, keeping Microsoft safe. That's about how much as I can say about my operations and my day job.
Right.
But I also started a nonprofit called the Tech4All Foundation. Well, so we found on the transition out of the military that there's a lot of opportunities out there, but we wanted to kind of give it to our demographic, which are people of color, people of low income, veterans, and just people that that don't have the traditional means to get into cybersecurity, like college, or they just don't know anybody like yourself or any other intelligent gentleman on this call to help guide their way. So we try to be that facilitator to guide their way. We had a series of events throughout November, and then we have some in December. The intro course, Desiree, the vice president of Tech4All, she called it the 5 pillars of technology. So we started with the intro to cybersecurity, what the job looks like and all that, intro to networking and intro to programming, intro into Linux administration, Windows administration, stuff like that. We have guest speakers and all that. So that's kind of what we try to do, facilitate the knowledge and introduction into cybersecurity and the other aspects of IT. Like you said, I'm a YouTuber. So on my way out as well, I started a YouTube called The Military Transition Tips, which kind of helps, like in addition to TRS or any other organization that helps you transition out of the military, the course you go through. We try to be an extension of that. I talk about my experiences transitioning out and being on the other side. I have other people talk, talking about their experience transitioning out, what they've learned. And then I try to gather lessons from other people and then coalesce that into a video to kind of spread that knowledge out to those who may not have mentors or may not know or have the ability to to learn some of these things. Like yourself, I might want to talk to you about, hey, can you tell me about getting into cybersecurity with a CSP coming out of the military? And then we just kind of have a conversation and I make a video about something like that. So that's kind of me as a nutshell. I hope I didn't go too long or talk too
No,
much, but
no,
yeah,
definitely.
that's kind of a nutshell, Johnny, right here.
Okay, no, that's what's up. It's a lot to unpack there, right? So I have a million
Yeah.
questions, but I'll give it to the crew first. What do you got for them?
So I got something for you, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for being on. I really do appreciate it, man. You know, they be bullying me on here sometimes. You know what I mean?
Not true.
Some weeks
Right.
I think
Yeah, right.
I think I'm gonna get fired. Some weeks I think I'm gonna
Lies.
get fired. But hey, so I have a question about the TRS, right? I'm guessing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
For us, so like I was an Air Force veteran, right? So we have something that's called TAPS, Transition Assistance Program. Is it about the same thing? Is that
Same exact thing. Yep.
same thing? Okay. So yeah, I mean that's cool that you actually do that, right? So like for us, it's a week-long class, right? And even in that week, like you think, okay, they give you a whole week to go through all these different things. And even with that, like I know there are some things that are lacking, especially when it comes to IT and cyber, right? So like that, it's good to hear that you're out there doing that, right? And you're contributing to that and you're trying to get in there on that ground floor. And Ryan has even mentioned on the podcast before where there's been people that even with like career changes, right? You have people that are going from being like lawyers that want to get into IT, you know what I mean? But they just don't know where to start, you know what I mean? So the fact that you actually offer that is something I like to hear. You know, I like to see that's out there. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. And think about it too. It's like, um, if you were IT in the military or you weren't, and you're trying to transition into the field, understanding what qualities and what value from your previous experience translate over. Because a lot of times people think, well, I was an XYZ in the military, so I just starting with nothing. But no, you learned a lot. You gain a lot of experience in the military that translates over. The mindset, the security mindset we have, just think about physical security, on a fob out in country. If you kind of change that to the digital world, and that you can kind of get that mindset into translating into cybersecurity. I've talked about that part a lot, translating physical stuff into the digital mindset.
Right, making it practical, and that's the hardest part for people because they're just like, oh, I don't know anything about IT. I've never touched a piece of equipment. Like, no, you have, and you know a lot more than you believe. But then you have to tell them the distinction. There's a distinction between IT and cybersecurity, right? You always have to kind of break it down. Like, this is what this does. This is what that does. So I field a lot of those questions. So, but how was that transition between the two? So you said NOC for the people who are not military listening. So as a network operations center. How was that transition like going from IT to cybersecurity for you?
Ooh, so it was rough, because as an engineer or as an administrator, you always had a weird relationship with cybersecurity. They tell you can't, hey, you can't do that. Hey, that's not safe. And so
right.
And so switching from that mindset of, I got to figure out how to get my job done, without cybersecurity, without that, those guys yelling at me, to being the person that's like, okay, now I know how these guys are going to try to skirt the rules. Let me try to let them understand, because now I can speak their language. Like, hey, yo, you can't be leaving your computer unlocked for this reason. Let me explain it to you. And then I know what they do because I used to be one of them. So now it's easy. It was easier for me to explain and let them know like why they can't or shouldn't or should do something. So
okay,
I would say it was a little easier for me to have that.
Okay, no, that's good. So your IT experience fed your cybersecurity knowledge and allowed you to police them, because that's what you basically become. Yeah, and now you're the bad guy or woman. No, that's awesome. So before I go on, I cut LeVon off, right? Because I had something pop to my head, so I had to get it out.
Well, no, that's good. That's like, I'd say I think it's incredible that's what you're doing. I mean, I like that you're actually you stand up an organization to actually help people underprivileged, under people that aren't able to I don't know, they don't have all the benefits that a lot of other people have to gain knowledge in cybersecurity and IT in general to be able to like progress in their career. And that's something that we always talk about on this show. Just like obviously people of color are kind of like there's not many people of color that are in cyber or in IT in general, and we're trying to be a point of support as well as like point of information for people that are that may have interest in IT and see that, we've got three guys here, now a fourth guy on our show today to kind of advocate and show that, you can make it, you can do it. We're all pretty successful in our careers.
My phone camera is better than the actual camera I got. So, so whenever I make that content, I'm like, oh, that's real good. Like I should use it
Right.
all the time. But no, so that's dedication right there, right? So like if you want to achieve something outside of work, if you want to generate content, because there's a lot of people ask like, like how do you come up with ideas and whatnot? Like, well, I have a bunch of ideas. It's like, where do I come up with the time? Because it's so hard to find time to make content. So luckily, I'm able to grab these two gentlemen here every weekend, and we kind of grind on it on the weekend, and then I grind on it that evening. So I sacrifice weekend time, right, to make content. But no, that's what's up. You
I
being
want to
so
touch on
busy.
that too, real
Oh
quick.
yeah, go ahead.
What you just said, I think it's super important. I know it's controversial. My wife loves it or hates it. I don't know, but I have Alexander Hamilton on my wall because like he always sacrificed mad time to do whatever he needed to do. You might know him from that play that came out a couple years ago.
Right. Little known play.
Yeah, little known play, right? But like sacrificing your time for something you want to do is super important. A lot of times people are like, oh, I don't got the time. That's because you don't got the time you want to dedicate, but it's something you want to do more, whether you want to be Xbox or whatnot. But some people, they know that, hey, I want to do, like you said, you want to do this podcast. And so you know that on your Sunday or your Saturday, you're going to give that time up. You could be drinking or partying or whatever else you could do, but you said that I want to do this. And so that's more important in your mind and you sacrifice for that. Some people, they're not willing to sacrifice the creature comforts for the thing that they say they want to do. So you guys got to decide what's actually important to you. And that's kind of why I made my schedule. So I know like, hey, I said this is important, then I'm scheduling time for it, regardless of, if I get to play my Xbox or not.
Right. No, that's key right there. I don't even want to piggyback on that. Like that's words to live by. So before I move on, anybody, did I cut anybody else off? So we typically do these solo. Yeah, we typically do these solo, but I want to integrate it into the podcast only because of efficiency and as well as like I know, sometimes LeVon or Shannon will ask me questions after the interview about like what did I not catch on camera or what have you. So like we all get it together or what have you. So this should be the format going forward. But it gets kind of congested. But I mean, I've seen people do it with like boards of 16 people. So it's definitely doable. Just have to, keep crafting on it and what have you. But with that being said, I guess I never asked this question. I always want to, but what have we not asked you that you want to put out there? You know what I mean? Like whether it be something to do with, experience or your current job, your foundation, et cetera.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about how I got into my current role, right? So I did do the interview with Microsoft through the course that I went through, the veterans MSSA course. But when I went through the course, I didn't make it in the initial interview, so I went and got a job at a different organization. But the hiring manager for the team that I'm on now, he reached out. He saw my my resume, my interview notes from the other team, but he told me that he saw my LinkedIn and he saw the YouTube that I had and all the that me trying to help people on LinkedIn find jobs and all that. And he said that's the type of person he wanted on his team, and that meant a lot, right? So I always tell people be cognizant of your cyber identity, your brand, because you don't know who's looking. Like if I was some dude that was just posting whatever on LinkedIn, political posts, whatnot, then he might not have called me back and I wouldn't have had, this job that I love, So like be cognizant of your cyber,
your social media footprint.
Social media footprint. That's what I was looking for.
There you go.
Thank you. You saw me struggling in the water. You pulled me out. Nah, but yeah, it's super important, because like I dedicate, I owe that my job to what my profile looked like. Cause he definitely stalked me and watched my videos because he quoted a couple of things I said. And I was like, dang, he legit watched them. So
okay.
Wow. I like that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely smart.
Yeah.
And I think that's well with this podcast, Ryan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So definitely, like, a lot of people don't think about that. Like, they do while out. You know, I mean, they got pictures of them drinking, flipping a bird, and whatnot. People are watching that.
That's
Uh,
why Shannon doesn't have a Facebook or social media. He's trying to like,
Uh,
he's got too much history out there. He don't want it to be
uh,
revealed.
don't need no skeletons jumping out the closet on me.
That's
Oh,
right. Got some skeletons.
no.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know Shannon's a good.
But it was for me. And I know this is something I went through in TAPS, right? So like I had nothing, like I didn't have LinkedIn or anything before I went through TAPS. And one of the instructors that we had there was like, look, you have to kind of get with the time. So like for me, like even my LinkedIn, I hate to say this, but I don't even look at it anymore. Like I'm not searching for a job or doing anything like that. Like I don't even look at my LinkedIn. When I get notifications in my email, I just delete them, right? Like I'm not searching for anything, nothing along those lines. I'm happy where I'm at. Facebook, no need for that, right? Like so if you know me, I know you, we can reach out through text or phone or something, right? So like for
Right.
me, I don't have a lot of Facebook friends, you know what I mean? Like I have friends, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's just never been something that really appealed to me, right? And as Bobby Boucher's mom would say, Facebook is the devil. No, I'm joking. But no, like it's like with Facebook, it's just like a lot of drama and stuff like that, you know, that I don't need to get into, right? Like I got
Yeah.
family I
Yeah.
could
No.
I'm with instead of going down that rabbit hole. So it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, it's all
yeah.
good. And it's like, it's obviously, it's not for you, but it's course that, of course, like as Johnny was mentioning, I mean, if you're going to put something out there, make sure it's like quality, don't be putting some, craziness, some crazy malarkey out there that's going to get you hemmed up somewhere, or like, get you denied a job offer. I mean, if,
Especially not on
especially,
LinkedIn.
yeah, LinkedIn of all places. I mean, that's supposed to be like the professional, like that's the quality, like Facebook right there. That's the the refined version of Facebook. So should be just like, so job postings or doing activities like